us. I flew in from Tucson today, had some meetings, came from voting at the Capitol, which is down the National Mall that way, and just wanted to have you come along with me in what's really been a ritual to kind of ground me. I usually do it early in the morning, but that's about 3:30 a.m. Tucson time. So tonight we're out here doing the run, and the last portion of it is running up the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. We're going to say hi to Abe and then check out what's up there if you haven't been there before, the Gettysburg Address. So follow me. Here we go. So, there's President Lincoln. It says above, in this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is enshrined forever. If you've not been here before, this is amazing. It's just magnanimous sculpture of President Lincoln, especially at night with it being lit up. And what we have on the left wall, which we'll go to in a minute, is the Gettysburg Address. And then on the right wall, we have his second inaugural address. Depending on how much time I have, I sometimes read both, but it's been a ritual of mine to always read the Gettysburg Address. It's very inspiring, so we're heading over there now. What you'll see around is lots of visitors here. Again, it's almost 8:30 at night. School children from really all over the country, all over the world really. Visitors coming to come to the center of the free world here and be inspired by these amazing monuments. And so many here tonight for all ages from around the world coming to the Lincoln Memorial. So here's the Gettysburg Address. And like I said, I read it every single time I'm here. And I'm going to read it for you now. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. It's pretty inspiring. He says, the world will never forget what he said here, but obviously that's not true. These inspirational words and leadership at such a critical time. So that's the Gettysburg Address, and now we're going to head out to the next part of my little ritual here, and I'll show you the beautiful view that we have back at the Washington Monument, the World War II Memorial, and the Capitol, where I have the honor to be able to serve you. So I hope you can see the amazing view here through the Washington Monument, again the World War II Memorial, and the Capitol behind. The lights on, we're still in session. The White House is actually over there. And I take time, again, I'm usually doing this at about 3:30 in the morning Arizona time, so I happen to be doing it tonight because I wanted to kind of share the run with you. I spent a little bit of time here just replacing my frustration with gratitude. Washington, D.C. can be a very frustrating place. So I find I have to intentionally, to ground myself, I do this, let go of the frustration, look back at the People's House, say, hey, I get to work there, and I'm going to be filled with gratitude. I'm going to choose to be grateful that I have the opportunity to serve in that place. And then I spend a little bit of time just praying for what we have before. Excuse me. What we have before us. This week, sorry, I'm going to get a drink of water. This is real time here. This week, we're going to be voting on the spending bill to fund our government and our military. And this is really important. I've been fighting really hard for a number of things. And so I look forward. This is the largest pay increase for our troops in many years, $25 billion of additional funds for our military. We've got this readiness crisis going on, and they need an infusion of resources in order to help them. So fully funding missions at Fort Huachuca, keeping the A-10 plus $20 million for the wings. We have the EC-130 with some extra funds, joining the Army and strength around all those important missions that we have, not just locally, but really for all of our troops serving around the world. Other important things on border security in there, making sure we're increasing some funding for some technology that we've seen that's working, access roads and some other things, supporting those that are out there every day, keeping us safe. Also some increases in NIH funding. Those of us who have been through dealing with the loved ones who have suffered from disease, this funding is so critical for research. And so I've been pushing on, and we've advocated for it, and there's an increase in that. And then also there's increases for national park funding. Backlog in national park maintenance, which we've been fighting for, is going to help us for our national monument, and Terracotta National Monument, which we hope to turn into a national park. So that's some highlights for the spending bill we'll be voting on this week that I've been fighting for. And I'm glad that we're finally moving past a continuing resolution, which is horrible for our troops, and getting that across the finish line. Some other things we have going on this week, well, and here we have some hearings related to the Armed Services Committee, which I'm on, related to Special Operations Force, updates on sexual harassment and assault at our military academies, a meeting with the Marine Corps Commandant, a number of issues related to the Marines, but also the Marines United scandal, and I've been leading an effort on that with the Private Act to give more tools to commanders to address the horrible issues that are happening there. We have other meetings with some constituents. I always love it when they come and visit me in the Capitol. I think we get some wind going on here. I don't know if you can hear me. But we'll be meeting with constituents in hearings and meetings, and also one of my bills is actually going to be marked up in the Homeland Security Committee today. We're going to be getting it out of committee to allow our veterans and law enforcement to be considered for Border Patrol and Port of Entry jobs, our CBP officers. So that's just a little bit of what we got on the agenda this week. Again, what I tend to do when I stop here, I don't go through all that because I've got my schedule kind of in front of me, but I pray for the leaders of our nation. I pray for wisdom and strength and courage and unity for our nation. For those that I'm here working with in Washington, D.C., that we would find strength to be able to do the right thing. I pray for the constituents that I represent, and then other specific things that pop into my heart and my mind for the day. And then I hit it running again, get down the stairs, and get back to work. So I just wanted to let you join me for this really important thing that I do here, again, to keep me grounded at a very critical time, and maybe give some of you the first time a little glimpse of what we have here at the Lincoln Memorial. So it's McSally signing off. Have a good night.